Hello and welcome back to Absolute BSS, the casual-petitive look at Bandai Namco's Battle Spirits Saga trading card game, episode 20, baby. Pew pew pew. I'm Cameron. There it is. Eric on the soundboard, baby.
I wasn't sure if you were doing it on your end where it's quiet for us, but you know.
No, I liked that we could all participate. There it is.
I hope you weren't sleeping. Wakey, wakey,
Wakey, wakey. It's time for
time
BSS.
for absolute. Time for absolute BSS.
Oh boy, you know us by now, but let's go around the horn. I'm Cameron.
I'm Angel.
I'm not Angel. I'm Eric.
Oh boy, and we're the absolute
I'm the other guy.
BSS trio, bringing you everything about Battle Spirits Saga and beyond. Yeah, on this episode, we're going to be talking about the store tournament pack. Some pretty exciting cards in there. Excited to dive into that, and that'll kind of round out our discussion about set 3, which is coming out at the end of this month, just a few days, couple weeks. And
October 27, I think.
That's crazy. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to get into set 3, get some blue cards in my hand. We all three got our lore sets since the last episode. And that's been really fun. But other than that, yeah, like what have you guys been up to? What you been playing? How's Battle Spirits treating you? How the lore set cards treating you? I know that one card in particular from that set I went up and bought 2 more copies of off of TCG Player.
It's probably the same card that me and Eric were talking about. So lore set's been pretty good. I mean, a little bit of play testing we did last week. Definitely, God slaying is doing this thing.
Oh yeah,
so we love it. But lore set's been really fun. I mean, I love reading it. I'm not gonna do any spoilers because I know some people still haven't gotten their stuff. But very cool. Like it really helps tie a lot of the artwork and imagery of the cards for sure. So and then actually. When I read it and I saw the card, I was like, "Oh, that makes more sense. I see why this is, this image is this way." But apart from that, I just been, prepping for Battle Spirits. We're gonna do some more training this week, hopefully, because we fly out in a couple days. And I've been snapping the hell out of some Marvel Snap. I am loving this little season, so I've been playing that. But other than that, man, just been packing and trying to make sure I have everything set up for going out to the Netherlands, buying last minute Amazon supplies. So I'm sure the mailman hates me by now. So what about you, Eric? What you got?
Yeah, I was just showing Angel before the show. I got this little plug adapter that I'm going to need to be able to charge all my junk in the Netherlands. So I've just been prepping for that too. Yeah, I got my lore set. I really want to dive into the book. It's a small book, so it's probably like not crazy to just go ahead and read it. But I was thinking like, I should probably save this for the plane because I'm going to need things to do.
Sure.
And what better way to get hyped up for a Battle Spirits tournament than getting deep in the Battle Spirits lore?
That's right.
But and it's just a nice little pamphlet-sized thing I could just pack really easily. But we'll see. I might break down and read it before then. But speaking of the cards in there, God slaying was honestly a little bit of a surprise for me because I remember we were all hyped on the Tokawa and even a little bit on the purple guy. I can't remember his name. Manaka. Yep. God slaying. I need to go back and listen to our episode because I'm very curious, like our lore set episode, because I'm very curious about how we talked about God slaying and then how it's been performing in playtesting.
I think Cam definitely hyped it up. Like he was excited for that.
I was pretty hype on it specifically just because of the decks that I play. But it's actually, it's pretty good in about anything. It's a really fun, in that same realm of counter curse. It's that unpredictable kind of you're screwed and there's nothing you could do about it card.
Yep.
At flash speed.
I know. I've been definitely during testing.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say it changes combat quite a bit. You have to think about the fact that they could have a God slaying in their hand.
Yep.
Like it's just something you have to consider now. It's this just how we had to learn like when to kind of tell when someone has an ice shield versus a Star Blessed draw set. You're gonna have to figure out like, are they swinging in with Worker Ant-Man because they just want the core? Or are they swinging in with Worker Ant-Man because they want to trick me and fuck my day up?
Right.
Yeah.
Trap cards are all about set 3 now, apparently.
Yeah, they really are. I'm liking it though. It reminds me of the when Yu-Gi-Oh went into like hand traps for a while. I mean, I think it's probably still like that too, but it was just like now you have that other element of like surprise. Like here you go. It's like
good luck. Yeah,
that's what makes it tricky is there's no forecasting it. It's just like straight up. Here it is.
Yeah, I'm excited. I have been slotting 2 into my yellow deck and kind of realized, you know what, that's not enough. Like, if I've got 24 copies of level 2 cards in my deck, I'm running 4 copies of Godslaying, and I'm going to be a force to be reckoned with. I also just ordered an SPR version of Royal Potion from set 1. 1, because that art is beautiful and I've always wanted it. But 2, we've been playtesting a lot of Gale, and Gale is, setting all of your creatures sideways. Royal Potion lets you refresh all your spirits that cost level 2. So for me, that's going to be my kind of defensive tech against a budding green meta. And I have the card pulled up on screen, but like this is one of the coolest full art cards in the game, I think. So very excited.
It has like that fairy dude, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like that. It's very textured too. I have a play set of them, and
nice.
you'll see that when you get it, you'll see the texture on the wing. Like it's a very beautiful card. I mean, I would say this. I think Cosmic talked about it too. Like yellow has some very cool like looking cards when it comes to like the foiling of it and the texture of it. It just pops a lot more. So
yeah. So I'm excited. I think I'm ready for Gale. We played a little bit this week. Eric was testing some Gale, and we've been talking about maybe trying to perfect Gale and take it to Atlanta. I don't know if we were supposed to talk about that, but we're definitely discussing it because Gale is just insane. Like Eric dropped down Huang Fang and was like, 2 to your face. I ready up 2 to your face.
Yeah,
that's GG. Hard to come back from. Yeah. So if a Godslaying would have been in my hand, or if a Royal Potion would have helped me bring some chump blockers back up into Godslaying, maybe I could have gotten out of that situation. But that's some BSS tech for all of you. Yellow. Look at yellow.
Yellow.
How awesome would it be? How awesome would it be if Gale is what brings yellow into the forefront of the meta?
I'm gonna try.
It's like the one color that can combat that with the Royal Potion and just the little 2-cost Godslayers.
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
Does your yellow deck actually like get more advantageous as well though? I can't remember with blue. Like if you crush and you have spirits in your it's card pile, right? So
the way I run it, I added strong draw because I watched a video. Someone was I forget who put it out. I'm so sorry. But they were like giving a quick ranking to every card in set 3 in a star
too
rating
many
1
card
through
games.
5, way too many. And they said basically like, why are you running strong draw outside of blue instead of star blessed draw? And my answer to that is I have Godbeast Behemoth in my deck. So strong draw, yes, is more of a tutor and search card than a card advantage card, but what Strong Draw does, let you draw 3, discard 2. That's helping me put 2-cost cards in the discard pile to have Godbeast Behemoth way less. Godbeast Behemoth reads, when summoning the spirit card from your hand, you may use the symbols of any spirit cards in your trash that cost 2, in addition to the symbols on your field. And he has a max reduction of 6. So Strong Draw lets me draw into Godbeast pretty early, and it helps me discard a couple of 2-cost cards that I'm not going to need. Usually by then, I already have like a couple of Pentans or Flying Turtles or Freestall in the discard pile. Behemoth comes out pretty early. And so blue just plays into that. If you're going to crush me too, I'm going to play my Behemoth. So I'm feeling good about blue. It's green that is scaring me.
That Gale Green.
Gale Green.
With a vengeance.
Truly. It's wild. But yeah, anything else you guys been up to? Just Netherlands prepping, like.
Yeah, it's that buying sleeves. I think we both been buying sleeves. Just try to re-sleeve our decks. What else? I think the biggest thing for me is just like really just making sure I have everything because it's gonna be very hard to, I'm not gonna have access to all my cards. So I want to make sure I have everything set up. Yeah. I'll probably at some point this week take a screenshot or a picture of my cards. So whenever I have to upload them, because I'm not gonna bring my laptop and stuff, so I'm trying to pack as light as possible. So when I go through customs, I do not get harassed. So just just let me through.
Good idea.
Let me through.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm just packing a single backpack. I'm going super light. But yeah, I was going to mention join the Discord, and I was trying to start a discussion in there around sleeves because I have been burned by Dragon Shield at this point after our Tulsa experience. It left a sour taste in my mouth. So
yeah.
I am trying to find my new sleeves, my new go-tos. So I bought a whole bunch of different kinds to test out. But right now I'm really liking the katanas.
Yeah, katana's always been a staple. Like I used to play with katanas when I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh. And I've never had issues with them. I actually swapped to Dragon Shield about last year just because it was cheaper and getting them in bundles. And then luckily I haven't had any issues with them.
Yeah.
But I've seen a lot of people like have issues with them. So now I'm kind of like I just use them when I put stuff in my binder or whatnot. But katanas for sure are I've never had any issues with them. I think the other one's like KTM or KTA. I think it's another brand that's really good, but I'll stick with katanas, man. They feel nice. They're tacked, like you can shuffle those things and they don't just break off. So
I was
they were a little expensive, but
they're expensive.
Yeah.
No, you're good. Katanas, yeah, I've used those before too. They come in a lot of different colors, which is neat, and they're always very, very durable for a long time. I was recently turned on to Riker sleeves. I buy those through Amazon. You can typically get like 100 in a pack, and they're pretty cheap as far as that. But like, they're really great quality, and they shuffle like butter. It's really good. Can't recommend Riker sleeves enough. RYKER. But yeah,
they come in a cool pack. I like the packaging.
Yeah, and they're great. I'm probably going to order some soon as well. After
Tulsa, I was like, you know what? I thought I brought enough sleeves to Tulsa. I did not. So I'm bringing like way more sleeves than I think I'm going to need.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to get a game loss or something from having a weird funky sleeve. So.
Yep. Agreed.
But the other thing I was going to mention, I'm going to do my little quiet voice again.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone, thank you so much for those of you that subscribed after the last episode. I noticed the last time that we had this little one-on-one chat about subscribing to the Absolute BSS YouTube channel, we got 3 more subscribers. We're now 39 subscribers away from 100. And at 100, we're going to do Battle Shots Saga, where we take a drink for our life course. So if you want to see that happen live on Lavinous Twitch's stream, that's Cam. Make it happen. Go ahead and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Ring-a-ling-ding that YouTube bell, you know?
Ring-a-ling-ling.
Yeah, that's all I'm asking.
Oh, man.
But for those of you that have subscribed, thank you so much. And for those of you that always tune in and listen, whether or not you have subscribed, we appreciate you. So that's all.
And then one last thing from me. I just put out another Keyforge video today, and shout out to Type in our Discord who picked up a starter set of Age of Ascension.
Hell yeah.
So excited for them to dive into the wacky world of Keyforge. And so the video that I put out today is tied into that set. It specifically talks about Age of Ascension and some of the fun things that you can look for in that set, and why I think that it's the perfect starting set. So good call there. Goodbye, Type. But yeah, so if you're looking forward to that, it's on our YouTube channel under the Keyforge Coffee Break podcast video playlist.
Hell yeah.
But now to dive into these store tournament packs for the upcoming season here, to go along with set 3 and round out our discussion on all the new cards, we're going to take a look at the Battle Spirit Saga Tournament Pack Volume 3. And there's some fun stuff in here. There's 2 cards per color, and they look pretty neat. So I think Eric is kicking us off with the red cards.
Yeah. Let's go for it. Let's get our 20th episode underway.
Boom, boom.
Ow.
All right. We're starting off with Sword Dragon Emperor Excalibus.
Favorite
This
Pokemon.
Is a... It's just a dragon covered in swords.
So many.
It's a 7 cost, 3 reduction red ancient dragon spirit For 1 core, it's level 1 is 4K, and at level 2 for 3 cores, it's 7K. Level 3 for 7 cores, it's 10K. During all 3 levels, during your attack step, if 2 or more of your opponent's spirits have been destroyed this turn, treat it as level 3. So this is another one of those spirits that you're probably never going to actually put 7 cores on it to get it up to 10K, but you could trigger it this way. But at level 3, it also has an ability. It's not just a big boy, a big spiky boy. It's also when it attacks at level 3, select one of your opponent's spirits with 4,000 or fewer BP or one of their nexuses and destroy it.
Topical.
So, yeah, we've seen this type of effect before, right? On the Andromeda.
Yes.
Is that the same effect?
I think Andromeda's one hit summoned though. So I think
that's right.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Summon.
Yeah,
this is actually better because this is anytime you attack, you have a nexus removal at all times.
Wow.
So that's really good because we don't have any card right now that is a constant target for Nexus Destroyer.
Yeah, and we need one. That's a really powerful effect, and the fact that you don't have to lean into the 7 core cost to get that, if you can be a little tricky, or especially the turn this thing comes into play, you're probably not putting 7 cores on it. Maybe in future turns, depending on where you're at in the game. But that first turn, if you combine that with like just even a Burning Force or a couple of Confront things, or, it's an Ancient Dragon, might slot into the Star Dragon slot. It could just do it all at once. Pretty neat card.
Yeah, this card is best friends with Burning Force or that new Ritual Flame card.
Yes.
Because you kill 2 things, it triggers the ability to where during your attack step it's level 3. Then you can swing and either kill another thing or take out a Nexus. So I think this card's cool. I do think it's going to struggle a little bit in the 7 slot because it doesn't have any relevant spirit type. So, it would need to be more of a generic red deck that it would slot into, or maybe as a one of. I could see that happening. But overall, though, I think it's pretty good. We also have had some good Ancient Dragons starting to pop up. So I wonder if maybe that's going to become an archetype where that makes sense at some point. Like this is going to be one of your big dudes in there.
Yeah.
Set 4 maybe. I mean, set 4 looks like it's going to be very Nova, maybe red focused. So maybe that's where Ancient Dragons really shine even more. So I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see some Ancient Dragons with double red symbols popping up in the next set.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting on your life counters now. We're going to have to be careful.
Yeah. Also, you got to be careful right now of Double Heart. I don't know how much we've talked about that card, but I've been seeing it pop up on some theoretical lists lately, especially paired with Arcana Joker. So look out. Double Heart's pretty good.
I'll move on to the next one here, unless you guys. Oh, you have something you want to say about this one?
I'll just say this card's really good. I mean, like I said, with red having so many magic cards that you can just pop, even like 2,000 BP, 3,000 BP.
Yeah.
I don't see that level getting him to level 3 hard at all. And honestly, I mean, ideally, your opponent's probably gonna be very second guessing putting out nexuses because they know you're gonna pop it again more likely.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And the costing on this thing is honestly nice. Like 4 cost spirit to have some destruction on a stick on a pretty sticky body, pretty good. I like it.
And he's out at level 1. He's right out of Burning Force right away. So that's
right
good too. So
I could see myself throwing 3 cores on him too. Like that's nothing for 7K. That's good.
Yeah, that's a really solid stat line. And then the 7 for the level 3. Honestly, red can play long if it needs to. You might pop those cores on there just in case, just to finish things off.
Throw them in your Gale deck. Why not?
Why not? Honestly, why not throw any fucking card in your Gale deck? You're going to be able to afford it.
You can have 70 cores.
Yeah. Honestly, like, fuck.
You sound so mad.
Fuck Gale.
I still can't get over how good Gale is. Every time I think about it, I just get fired up.
I hope nobody's named Gale because we always say fuck Gale.
Oh boy!
Hey, if your name is Gale, let us know.
Yeah, reach out.
But also, fuck you.
All right. What's this?
It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. The next card is Man, why did I volunteer to read the red cards?
Hey, they're rough sometimes.
Zungareep.
That's a Sure.
Or Desungareep.
Maybe something the D like is silent.
Yeah, Sungareep. That's probably it. I mean, it is like a pterodactyl. So.
Right. I love these.
So maybe
kinds of cards. These Skyfang cards are neat.
The Skyfangs are cool. I know that it's pterodactyl, not pterodactyl. I was making a joke for those of you that didn't get my joke. So 2-cost 1 reduction Skyfang Spirit Red. Level 1 for 1 core 2K, level 2 for 4 cores 4K, and level 3 at 6 cores here we're at 6K. All 3 levels it has Awaken, and then at level 2 and level 3 during your attack step, this spirit gains 2000 BP for each of your spirits with only 1 core on it. So this really plays into that Awaken strategy where you leave all of your spirits with like no cores on them, but then when they attack, you move the cores over.
Yeah.
So it's kind of neat. I think this is actually kind of cool. I haven't really played around much with Awaken. It also doesn't benefit, by having like the Star Dragon type, but I don't really know if that matters because it's 2-cost 1 reduction. So you might just, if you are building around Awaken, you might just throw it in.
Yeah. I'm fascinated by that concept of just being like, all right, now this guy's attacking and he has all the cores. Now I'm going to move to this guy and he's going to take all but 1 core from the last guy and put him on himself. Like, that's really fun. I've never done it. I think there was so much like core control in set 1 that I just stayed completely away from Awaken. Also, I didn't play red a lot. But now, with all these different types of decks that you can build, I took a nap right before this.
He's drinking coffee if you haven't noticed. I'll wake up at some point.
I just downed that. But yeah, there's just a lot of decks variety now. So I think you can probably get away with building a pretty solid Awaken deck. I just need to really dive into it, but I would definitely add a couple of these guys. Plus they look cool.
I like them. Yeah, like I said, by no means have I played red at all like that, but I do think that now Awaken makes sense. It's actually more like it has a purpose to it, where I feel like in set 1, Awaken really, when will you do that in set 1? At least in that meta,
right?
Where now, like especially with this guy's effect at level 2 and 3, okay, makes sense to just move your course around constantly, based on whatever you're doing. So I like how Awaken's actually kind of serving a purpose now, or at least making sense to me. Because when I first saw Awaken on set 1, I was like, why would you do that? Like that's cool, but it's not. Like you were saying, set 1 was very core control, anyways. And you were really looking just to really summon your Star Dragons, really. So I don't think you ever really used your Awaken effect. So
yeah, I think if someone cracks the code on an Awaken deck right now, you're gonna catch a lot of people off guard, and if you get some cool effects like this one on here, you're gonna be able to cover a lot of fights and keep the board clear.
Yep.
Oh, Overlord Ubel in the Discord, we're looking at you.
That's right.
You're up to bat.
You're up.
Yep.
For those of you that have been longtime listeners of the show, you will remember that I completely misunderstood Awaken for a long time and thought that it worked like how Swift works.
Yeah.
So that's fun. Just had a little throwback moment there as I was thinking about that.
Yeah. I remember that.
And then Swift came out. And I thought I was going to be like actually like super into it, but then I was like, oh, I guess I just like Leaf Wolf, but
yeah. You do like Leaf Wolf.
Leaf Wolf is my boy. And then Angel's new curse card. They have a witch coming out of the woods to murder him in his sleep.
That's right.
Not cool.
Gotta love that purple.
Speaking of which, you ready for the next?
I'm ready for this next card. Yeah, and I kind of talked about this in our last podcast. Because I was a bad boy and I got ahead of it. But the first purple tournament card is a Corpse Knight William. He's a 5-cost, 2-cost reduction. At level 1 for 1 core, he's a 3K. At level 2 for 4 core, he's a 7K. And for either level 1 or 2 during your turn, when a spirit is summoned from your trash, select one of your opponent's exhausted spirits and destroy it. And I think we talked about this last time. I really dig this guy. That effect is awesome, and it's something that's very needed with exhaustion being a thing. Everything purple going forward is exhaust this, exhaust that, attack into it, destroy it. I think one of the new serpent cards goes along with the exhausted theme as well. So a Manaka for sure. Thorn Prison's still gonna be a thing. Green, right? Gale. So
yeah, undead. You can make an undead Gale deck.
Yeah, there
There's
you go.
so many ways to play Gale Spirit Saga.
Yeah, that's what's gonna be called now. It's just like Gale Spirit Saga. But
we might be overvaluing Gale. Like Gale's gonna come out and
yeah.
nobody's gonna be playing it, and we're gonna build these Gale decks, and they're gonna suck. But
I hope. But that's the thing is, we've played the decks, and they don't suck. They are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to hijack.
No. Hey,
Gale, continue.
I mean, we talked a little bit about him last time, so I mean, I really like him. Nothing's changed since the last time I talked about him. The artwork's amazing. So I think he'll be a really cool card. So
he's giving Summoned Skull from Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yes, with the purple cape.
Yeah, Captain Summoned Skull. I like it.
Or Gearfried, the Iron Knight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is another one of those very Yu-Gi-Oh type cards, and I love it.
Spawn,
I love that.
Venom, I don't know.
For sure.
I can name a bunch. It's like he's just cool.
Yeah, he's cool.
I had this toy as a kid. I don't know what he's from, but he was this really cool like bone knight that was purple, and he had like this weird like purple like I don't know tusked thing that he would ride on that I had like a little toy version of. This isn't ringing bells for either of you though.
No, so usually like I was hoping I can figure it out, but
I was hoping Cam was going to be like, "Oh, that's blah blah blah." But
yeah, He-Man, Master of the Universe.
It's that like at first I was thinking Skeletor or like Ghost Rider or something.
I used to love that thing.
Yeah,
I like this guy though. He's double Beldegor trigger basically.
Yeah, pretty neat. We've already talked about it too.
Yeah. So I'll move on to the next one. So we kind of talked about them. Same thing. Third Eye Snake. So
Great
Serpent.
Band.
Yeah. 2 cost, 1 cost reduction. At level 1 for 1 course is 2K. Level 2 for 2 courses is 3K. At level 2 effect, when your opponent places a core of one of their effects from the void into one of their spirits or into the reserve, draw a card. It's cool.
That is
it's a cheap level 2. It's I'm sure I'll try it out, play with it. Not sure how I feel about it right off the bat. I feel like there's probably other better options than this, but I could be wrong, right?
This is Gale Depths.
Yeah. I can see that. Like the one thing I learned about tournament packs and promo packs is that the cards from those packs at some point become very, very relevant, right? Talk about the Axe Spider days. You got Scott Owl, 10 Soldiers. I mean, all those cards came from promos, so I'm sure this guy will see some play at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a solid draw.
Serpents are gonna. Yeah, I mean, anything that says draw a card, I think has potential.
Yeah. Not that purple needs any more draw, but I feel like Third Eye Snake might just be a sideboard card for a lot of other colors. I'm looking at this as a 2-cost card for 2 cores to put it on, 2 cores while it's down. Any time that my opponent ramps, I'm drawing a card.
Yeah.
That feels pretty good.
Yeah. I changed my mind. This is the depths for Gale.
Yeah, it's Gale Depths.
Yeah. You're right.
Wish you
I'm sorry, Third Eye
stop
Snake.
building Gale decks, my friend.
Worker Ant-Man hates this too.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Green hates it. Anything hates it. I'm obsessed with this card the more I look at it.
It's also a 2-cost, Cam.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
that is what I'm saying.
Your sideboard idea, this could go in your side for your yellow deck.
If I get absolutely crushed by Gale game 1, I'm slotting in some Third Eye Snakes.
Third Snake. It looks like an old man snake. Is that hair or those? What are those?
I don't know. They look like rings.
Yeah. Okay. I was reading the Lord text at the bottom. So fair name Lolo.
Ooh. I wonder if we're going to see Lolo in the future. Probably.
Famous storyteller. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
I want a book of Lolo's tales.
Me too. Lolo's fables.
Talking about Meduki the whole time.
Yeah.
How she's such a bitch.
But also a mommy?
Yeah.
I do think that that's a good a point, though. Not kind of what you were just saying, but not necessarily. It is a serpent, and I think that that's relevant. I think that it being a serpent also makes it pretty good.
Well, especially with Serpent Heavy set 3, right? You had the Viper guy, I mean Maduke. So definitely like a heavy Serpent deck. I don't know, man. I'm just excited for set 3. A lot of the archetypes have very more card pools now to make them individually strong, right? Serpents, Nightlings. I mean, Fable Beast is still getting other landers, so I'm excited. So, I like this card. So definitely have to go to a tournament and get some of these.
Yeah, you're gonna want 4. I think it's cheap enough that you're going to want 4, and I think that this is going to be some pretty good tech against green. It's going to, at the very least, make your opponent feel a little worse about ramping every turn, because you're going to be drawing
every time. Yep.
And blue has a little bit of ramp too, so I mean, like, this card sees play. This card sees play in the set 3 meta, for sure. It's a good card.
And it's like, and it's during either step, right? It doesn't tell you, just like during your turn. So
right.
At any time that you opponent activates something that's going to allow them to ramp up, you just benefit off it. All right, you get your core, I'll get my draw.
Yeah, like you're gonna want to target this card when you see it on your opponent's side of the field.
Yeah, that's the thing I was about to say. The only thing that makes me nervous is a 3K.
Yeah, like, it's weak. It's squishy. Yeah. But again, like you're not investing a lot of cores to get your ability. Your opponent has to invest a few cores to remove it, though.
True.
I love Third Eye Snake. I really do.
Yeah, I like him.
Even more than the next card?
Nope. This one's mine. I'm so excited. Every time we get another Pentan, I'm just like so pumped. And I've seen a Japanese X-Rare Pentan Knight. And I can't wait for that to come over to us at some point. But this is Macaroni Pentan. 2 cost, reduced by 1. Yellow Lyric Bird / Wanderface Spirit. Suave as fuck. Beautiful coloring. He's got the coif. He's holding out a yellow rose to this
romantic boy.
Yeah, he's wooing. Well, maybe he's laying it on a little too thick. This
she's sweating over there.
Yeah. She's sweating over there. She's like, oh, not this cheesy bastard.
Police.
Can we please get a card of her, but from her perspective of this happening?
I want that so bad.
That would be hilarious because, like, can't just say suave and like that's how maybe he feels he looks like, but from her perspective, he's just a cheesy old penguin, like just roomy,
just a creep. Oh, I love him though. 2 cost, 1 reduction, level 1 for 1K. Level 1 for 1 core, it's 1K. Level 2 for 3 cores, it's 3K. Level 3 for 4 cores, it's 4K. But at level 2 and level 3, when destroyed by opponent, return this card from your trash to your hand. So it works really well in my 2 cost build. With the freestall, with the toy soldiers. I would actually, if I'm really committing to this, I might be taking out some Fabled Beasts. But as far as that 2 cost archetype, that's really, really good. Recursion for freestall to look at, recursion for your Blessed Cathedral to ramp, recursion for just nothing, really. Not a lot of cores. I really, really like them. What do you guys think?
This card is a slam dunk, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The flavor of it, of him being this like relentless, persistent, like annoying little dude, and he just comes in every single turn, and you just attack with him every single turn, and then he comes back to your hand. I love it. I think he's really cool. Honestly, he might fit into my aggro deck because my aggro deck already runs a few yellow cards, and now with God Slaying, I think maybe even more so. So I could really see, morphing into more of like a green yellow aggro, and he fits in there.
That's right. Nothing runs like a deer. Yellow and green, baby.
We are not sponsored by John Deere, guys.
Not yet.
That'd be the weirdest sponsor for this podcast.
Yeah. It's today's episode, but John Deere, get your grass cut.
Green Gale giving you trouble? Cut the grass with John Deere.
And after long day cutting, wash it down with some macaroni velveted cheese.
It's the most niche sponsorships.
Oh man. But no, this card's definitely cool. I like it. It's a card that, you guys are saying keep pushing with it, be annoying with it. You don't even need to buff it up. Just keep it at 1K. Just try and push and get back to your hand anyways. If it gets blocked, it gets destroyed.
Well, it does have to be level 2 or 3.
Oh, it has to be level 2, huh? See, I don't read my cards. See what happens? Never mind. But still, he's still good.
You need the 3 cores on him, but yeah, like you're getting him every turn. You're ramping usually with him if you have the Blessed Cathedral. So you can afford those cores to just be annoying.
Yeah.
He's also always another spirit that Alice can count on to have in play with you.
Yeah.
For some good old fashioned sapping. I mean, like, how do you not run Macaroni Pentan? He also works pretty well in the Lyric Bird stuff, like with the Pentan chicks. Like, he's a Lyric Bird. He's going to give you that reduction on your magic cards.
Oh, and you could Godslay for free, basically.
He can Godslay over and over.
Yeah.
And then when he finally dies, he's still alive. I love it.
I'm imagining a nightmare late game scenario where yellow is just playing 4 of these every turn and just like slamming them into me. And it's just so
like nonstop.
Yeah. I love it.
Cam, can you read the flavor text on this guy? Because I have no idea why this flavor text is here.
Is
this a misprint?
It has nothing to do with the card. It has nothing to do with anything. I was bummed because this card is so perfect. If the flavor text had anything to do with him, I would have loved it. It says, "It sounds unbelievable, but apparently the ice princesses were once nearly driven to extinction by the mecha. Supposedly that explains why they are now so reclusive." Huh?
Like, what does that have to do with this penguin and giving a rose to another penguin?
I just read the mecha card, and I think it has the flavor text that was supposed to be on Macaroni.
Okay, good. Okay. So it is a misprint.
All right.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that in a second. Later. I'm very excited to see what the mecha has to say about penguins. But
all right.
This next yellow card, I'm also very excited about. Great Eagle Thiazi is a 4-cost reduced by 2 yellow Fabled Beast spirit. So again, Fabled Beasts love to sit in that 4-cost range. At level 1 for 1 core, it has 3,000. Level 2 for 2 cores, it has 4,000. And level 3 for 4 cores, it has 6,000. When summoned at all 3 levels, select one of your opponent's spirits, reduce its BP by 2,000 during this turn. So we're definitely stacking these drain abilities through yellow. And at level 3, during your attack step, all of your level 1 Birdfolk spirits cannot be blocked by your opponent's spirits that are level 2. And we've seen that ability on some other stuff. Birdfolk, still not super viable. But maybe it's getting a little better. The Birdfolk, like Raphael, like to look at 2-cost cards. I can see a world where maybe you're running Lyric Birdfolk and a couple of these off Fabled Beasts, and I'm sure there's a package there that I'd like to look at a little bit more. This thing doesn't work super well in Fabled Beast or, Fabled Beast Blast decks or Fabled Beast 2-cost decks, but it's still a cool card, pretty decent stat line, especially for yellow, especially for a 4-cost in yellow. But yeah, what do you guys think?
I like it. I mean, like I said, I think this will be more relevant later on, maybe when Birdfolk get a little bit more support. I mean, also right now, just looking at some of the Birdfolk cards, and it's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so six of them.
Yeah.
So I think this would be a card that gets revisited later on when there's more for that archetype. But for now, I mean, it's a cool card. It's not a chump by no means. It's gonna have a purpose. Yeah. It's not there yet, right? So maybe next set will be. But it's a cool card. I like the flavor text of it, and I do like the artwork for it as well. I'm a sucker for like big eagles just climbing down trying to pick up his prey. So I think it's holding an apple. I don't know what that.
Yeah, it looks like a golden apple there.
So
it is cool art.
It's very cool. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's dual eagle for Birdfolk, right?
Yeah,
because he has a similar second ability of like making them unblockable, basically.
Yep.
I could see Birdfolk being like Gale, where right now we're saying like, oh, the pieces aren't there, but then all of a sudden it's all gonna come together, and you're gonna be like, holy shit, Birdfolk.
Yeah.
So,
because yellow's the last deck that needs to be up there, right? That's what's gonna happen at some point.
Yeah,
yellow's gonna dominate the meta because something's gonna be so freaking broken, or it's just too hard to control, or too fast paced. So, I feel like each set, yellow and yellow gets a little bit more and more dangerous. So I wouldn't be surprised it's here pretty soon. But yeah, like I said, maybe next set is where yellow really, it's now all colors are all viable, and it's just a matter of how you pilot the decks, So
I'm still going to prove that yellow is the best right now. We'll see.
I didn't mean to laugh at that. I'm sorry.
No.
We're not laughing at you. We're laughing because
you're laughing with me.
Yeah. I support it. I do think you have opened my eyes today that yellow might be the answer for Gale. So I'm interested to see how that goes.
I've been racking my brain.
I do think all the Birdfolk cards we've seen, or all the Birdfolk supporting cards we've seen, have been like pretty good. So I think once you have enough pieces here, I think you could build something really solid.
There's definitely a world where Birdfolk go so wide and are so unblockable that you can't do anything. And I want to dive into that a little bit. And Thiazi will be a part of that for sure.
You got Somersault too as well. I don't remember exactly what that card does, but similar stuff.
Let me pull it up real quick because that is worth talking about. I've been looking at that again, just for some protection.
Well, at the Grand Open, because of course I went up against yellow and lost horribly both times I went up against it because it's my weak spot.
Yeah.
I got somersaulted with a dual eagle somersault, and that finished the game in one of my games. And it feels bad when that happens.
Yeah.
It happened to me too at Tulsa, I think. I mean, I ended up winning the match overall, but I think it was game 1 or game 2 he won, and it was somersault just freaking wrecked me. I was like, darn it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a 6 cost reduced by 3 yellow magic card that says main. Your yellow spirits cannot be blocked by your opponent's level 2 spirits during this turn. Flash, you can give a spirit 2000 BP. But yeah, definitely using it for that main effect. If you're noticing your opponent has loaded up their cores so that all their guys are right at level 2, you can sneak right on by. Yeah, Somersault I feel like fits in the Birdfolk deck. As more than just tech. And that's pretty cool. All right.
This guy's basically Somersault on a body, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love cards like that. Like, that's how Digimon felt, right? It was like all the action cards, I forget what they called them in that game. But like all the like spells basically were just effects from creatures that you could play quickly. But typically if they're on your creatures, they're a little more powerful. And that's kind of how I look at it in this game. And then the magic cards that do stuff that your creatures don't are the ones that I include in the deck, like Floodstream. That spell is just so good.
Yeah. We might get a Floodstream spirit at some point, though.
I mean, Randolph is
that. Randolph is pretty close.
Randolph is like my MVP in blue. I love Randolph more than the X rares right now.
Yeah, you played Randolph on me the other day and just messed up my whole world.
He's crazy. He's absolutely crazy.
Randolph don't care. Randolph and Gordon.
Yep.
I love not to get too off track, but I love the names for these blue war gods that are just like their names are like Jeff, James,
Jason. Yeah.
Robert.
Yeah, it's like Skull Crusher General Bob. I love
That's exactly what it's like.
All right, let's move on to the mecha that has the Macaroni Pentan text. So, you know what? Let's just read the text before I even get into the card.
Yeah,
because this is I think what's supposed to be on Macaroni Pentan.
Yeah.
Surprisingly enough, the land of penguins appears to be the oldest of the 7 historic nations within the realm of Radiance. Perhaps they used to be more clever.
How dare you call them dumb now? They've just enjoyed peace and prosperity. They're just worried about other things.
Fried chicken birds is what they call it. That's what they think.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Man, the Pentans get picked on so much. They're just like...
Punch a Pentan.
We're going to punch him. We're going to call him stupid. It's like, man, how could you look at Macaroni Pentan and feel that way?
Yeah.
Or the original OG Pentan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he's so classy.
I love all my Pentans. Prince Pentan has been in my deck day one, and I have that like shiny hollow gold, like full gold with the yellow stars on them.
Yeah.
I need to get a play set of those.
Piss Pentan.
Piss Pentan.
Yeah. Pee.
Yeah.
By the way, for all of our listeners out there, if you have one of those Pentan window clings from like the first store tournament, I have not been able to find one. And if you have an extra one, like let's get in the Discord and talk to me about it because I want it. I've been trying to hunt one down.
Money is of no what's the fucking
money is no object.
There it is.
No object. Yeah.
No, I do have a limit of how much money I would spend on it, but
$3 million.
Yeah, maybe someday if the podcast really takes off. No.
Yeah, I have one of those requests. Someone find me or format me because I don't know how to do it and I don't want to bother my friend Craig to do it. Format me an image of just all the Pentans together for a playmat. That would be awesome.
Oh,
if
Pentans.
You want.
Love them.
Excuse me.
All right, Tankmobile Hetzer.
I love this.
The dude who is supposed to have Macaroni Pentans text on him. 3 cost 2 reduction mecha spirit out of white for 1 core. He's at 3K for level 1. For 2 cores, 4K for level 2. And at level during your end step, at the start of the step, that's gross. Refresh all of your spirits with no effects listed.
Refresh is a purple magic card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely reformed.
It would be like I can imagine the art now. It'd be like a really gross, like skinned leaf wolf, and they're like putting it back on, you know? Anyways, this is Spring of Norn on a body.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think. Spring of Norn right here.
So horny. I'm so horny.
Yeah. What do you think about this game?
I fucking love this card because it's cheap as fuck. It's a mecha and it does Spring of Norn. So like your mech tokens are refreshing at the end of your turn. You can put it in a mech deck. You can put it in the blank decks with, the Machine Beast too. Like you're just making these really buff textless cards that just won't stay tapped. You get to attack, ready them up for your opponent to just gale them all down and beat you anyway. But I dropped my phone. But it's a really cool card. I think it's perfect. I want 4 of them. And
I thought you were slamming the table for dramatic effect.
Yeah. No, not this time. But yeah, I think Hetzer is probably my favorite card from this promo set.
Really? Yeah. Over Macaroni Pentan?
Well, his flavor text talks about Pentans, so...
Oh, you're right.
It's the perfect card.
Has Pentan flavor text? Yeah.
I love it. I'm going to be the first one to top 8 a textless deck. I'm very ambitious today.
You heard it here.
Yeah. I need you to bring this energy to Atlanta.
Oh, I will.
But I would say in a meta and a future meta as well of a lot of exhaustion still being a thing. The ability to refresh your text list, like you're talking about tokens now, or any of your vanilla cards that you're running. Obviously, if you're running, this is what that gets slotted in. So, and it's cheap as hell. One core basically, if you can somehow get it out.
Yeah.
Stats are pretty good, super cheap as well, right? Just with 2 cores, he's out of any real target early on. So, I definitely like this card. So,
yeah, the pricing is amazing. 1 to play him in a full white deck, and then 2 more cores on top of him so that he's at his max level and doing what Spring of Norn does for a cost of 3 and 2 orbs on him. So, like, honestly, it is the same as Spring of Norn, except you can fight with it. But I probably wouldn't. I'd probably just keep him refreshed and ready to go. But you've got cards like the Tankmobile from set 2, who I love. Let me pull that one up real quick. I always click on
That's
blue.
just the big one, right?
Tankmobile Moss or whatever it is.
No, the other guy. Sorry, from set 2. It's an 8 cost spirit reduced by 5 Tankmobile KV2. 1 core 5K, 2 cores 10K, textless. You're swinging in with, in an ideal world, 4 copies of 4 10K mechas, and then they all stand up at the end of the turn. Plus, Infinity Mothership is a thing. there's a lot of really cheap mecha, and now there's this guy who's also really cheap, and that's going to make that ramp during the start of your turn in your core step like really come in handy. There's a deck here. I'm telling you, there's a deck here, and I'm very, very excited to get some Take Mobile Hetzers into my playtesting.
Bandai pushing it. They've given us quite a few cards that deal with textless spirits. Like, I know that we like to complain about how many vanilla spirits there are, but yeah. I think Bandai has very intentionally given us, like, I don't know, they keep giving us stuff that does very good things when you have textless spirits out. So I think it is going to hit a breaking point where it's like, okay, now there's just enough support that this is a good deck.
I will say, I found the most blatant, I'm sure it exists in some other places, but I found the most blatant form of not power creep, but whatever the opposite of that is. In set 3, there's a textless mecha called Diracdol. 4 cost, reduced by 3 mecha. Level 1 for 1 core is 2k. Level 2 for 3 cores is 6k. But if you remember, in set 1, there is a textless mecha with the exact same core stats, but better BP. And that guy is... Let me find him. Son of a bitch. Why can't I find him? Maybe it was
Is he Mobile Golem?
Mobile Golem. Yeah.
He's from the starter deck.
Ah, that's why. Okay. So in the starter deck, Mobile Golem, 4 cost, reduced by 3. Level 1 for 1 core is 4k. Level 2 for 3 cores is 7k. It's just only better. Like,
yeah.
So that was weird to see. I was a little bummed about that as a textless stan.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, this next guy is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Android, and you might remember his art actually from a card that Angel talked about last episode.
That's right.
Provocation. Yep. So this is Divine War Gear Mega Tier. I think that's how you say that, right? Tier?
Tier. Yeah. Tier. I think it's Tier.
7 cost 3 reduction Android Spirit out of white for 1 core, 6k at level 1. For 3 cores, 9k at level 2. At both levels, when one of your spirits is returned to when one of your opponent's spirits is returned to their hand, you may pay a soul core to refresh this spirit. And then at level 2 only, when the spirit blocks, select one of your opponent's spirits with 4,000 or fewer BP and return it to their hand. So pretty decent. Lots of good effects on this guy.
Androids like to bounce.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think maybe he's a little expensive.
Yeah, I mean a little bit for what he does, but
it's good stats, I guess. Though good numbers on the BP, but
and I'm trying to think. There's not a lot of Android support right now either, though. I'm trying to think of. No, right, this is a new archetype they introduced.
There have been some androids like the Valkyrie.
Okay. That's right.
Valkyrie Mist, yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of androids. There's a couple of little androids. But I don't think we have an X-Rare Android yet. So I'm very excited to see what that's going to look like. Again, it's kind of like that, bird folk, right? Like, I feel like androids are going to find their place here soon in that white bounce is going to come back. White aggro is going to be pretty good. Yeah, this is a cool card. It can bounce.
Yeah, no, I like it. This card reminds me of a straight up Yu-Gi-Oh card. Yeah. Exiled Master of the Guard.
Yeah.
Has the big like pharaoh looking thing, so it's a very cool card.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like
doing white things.
It looks like if the rocket launcher from Destiny Galahorn was a robot. It's that kind of vibe.
He works well with the Magic card that has him on it too.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because you force your opponent to attack with something, you block it with this, you bounce it back to their hand, you pay a soul core, and now he's refreshed. So like he does work with provocation.
Yeah,
I think he's cool. I do agree though the costing is a little weird, but I mean his stats are decent. It's just you got to play him down. There's already so many good white cards in that same kind of like 7-8 cost range.
Yeah.
So I don't. Yeah. you're building a bounce deck, I think, with him in it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Again, androids. I think once the Android X Rare comes out and people are looking to build an Android tribal, just Bounce City, people will revisit this card from their little promo pile and be like, oh, yeah, this guy. This is cool.
Yeah, no, I like him. I think, like I said, this is one of those cards. The same thing like we were talking about the Great Eagle, right? Like at some point, maybe not this set, next set, it will be relevant.
Yep.
With Android support, so.
Yeah. We'll come back to this guy for sure.
We'll come back to that. We're going to hop into a little green, Mr. Ghost Mantis. It's a 6 cost, 3 cost reduction insectoid for level, or for 1 core level 1, he's at 5K. Level 2 for 4 cores, 8,000. Level 1 and 2 during your attack step, when one of your insectoids, Carapace, or Great Beetle spirits is destroyed, place a core from the void into your reserve, and at level 2, when destroyed, refresh all your insectoids, Carapace, and Great Beetle spirits. So I like this card. This is giving me very aggro kind of build type with it. Just push and then just refresh everything back out again, or go super wide with all these different archetypes. And I do like that, right? Because now this card works with 3 different archetypes. So I do like that about it. I say it doesn't matter really about the cost because you're playing green. Like, you ramp up, so it doesn't really matter even if you pay for it. But you can play them out for 3. So I like it. Stats are really good. 5K is not bad for 1 core, and then just for 3 more, you're 8K. And like I said, playing green, you should have plenty of cores available to you. So
this guy makes Herrick Dynus look very, very good. Herrick Dynus gives this guy flash speed, and being able to flash this in to block something and blow it up and then refresh all the rest of your guys feels pretty good. I think that's definitely where I would put it. It also works in the Ant deck, I think. Pop it down and send your little insect tokens into fight, and when they're getting chump blocked, you're ramping. I like him. I think I'd run 2 of these in an Ant deck.
Yeah.
The second ability being when destroyed and not when destroyed by opponent, I think opens this up for a lot of other possibilities too.
It's huge. Yep. Yeah, this works in a green-purple deck also.
Yeah. That's where my mind went, was like, you have a wide board, you swing in with everything, then you deadly balance and refresh it all, or maybe they I don't know, maybe they like Thorn Prison you and then you use him like swifted in with Herrick Dynus to like get out of it.
That's what I thought. It's like, if you have the cores, swift it in and level it up to level 2, and you swift it in for the block, you might be trading something too. But even if you get under it, what you're doing is you're refreshing everybody for the rest of the turn out of nowhere. And that's really good. I think this card has a lot of value. It's a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, because you can play defensively or, aggro style, like Eric's point was saying. You can swing in first, right? Do what you got to do, and then at one of your flash steps, sack this guy somehow, and then all your spirits are refreshed again, swinging in again in the same turn. So it's definitely, like you said, defensively and offensively a really good card. And I like it, so it's really good. So
for sure.
You also force them to respect that. Like, you may not have the deadly balance in your hand, but they have to respect the fact that you could.
Right. Like, so if they exhaust all options, like, do I really want to block everything? Because she might just redo it again or hit the reset on me. So,
yeah.
Make them have it.
I like it. Now, this next card, though, I like even more because it works with Gale. Air Commodore Krang. He's a 4 cost, 2 cost reduction. Prey Bird, level 1 for 1 core is a 3K, level 2 for 4 cores, 6K. Has Gale 1 when he attacks, the level 1 and level 2, and then his level 2 effect during your attack step, when one of your opponent's spirits is exhausted by a Gale effect, select one of your opponent's spirits and exhausted. So you are exhausting left and right multiple times with different things, tapping down your opponent. So it's not much to say. He has a cool little military jacket. It's very respectful. I like it.
Admiral Red-Headed Woodpecker.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Means business. It's very, very serious.
I love birds. So I love the prey bird archetype. They're very, very neat. The art is very well done. Yeah, just more Gale support. Why not?
I have to test with him and see where he fits in. But my immediate thought, and I feel bad for saying this because I feel like he just became good, is I think he takes up the slot that Ezawolf was in the Gale deck.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
He just has more stuff that he does, and it costs more cores to get up to level 2, but it is a higher BP. It's a higher BP value, and you have the cores to do it. Yep. So, I think he probably replaces Ezawolf.
I mean, because you're basically exhausting 2 for 1, right? Like, it doesn't matter, and that's even if it's not with him, it's each time, right? So that's about like. How can you not? He'll definitely replace. I mean, it's just that's too good, you know.
Like, unfucking believable.
It's not too sad though, because honestly, I like this guy. I think the theme is cool, the art is cool. Like I like it. It's a cool
makes
card.
More sense for a bird to have Gale than a wolf, but it is. Yeah. I agree, man. I think he replaces Ezawolf for sure.
Before Ezawolf really even got to see play.
Yeah.
Because I think Ezawolf was about to have his moment, and then fucking Air Commodore Gron came in and stole it from him.
Yeah, you don't need to play. Yeah, I like it, man. I'm telling you, Gale's looking good, man. It's gonna be an annoying meta if it really does as well as we all think it's gonna do. At least for the first half, right? I'm sure the second half will settle down. It'll be other things, but definitely right off the gate, I think you'll see Gale the first grand opening for sure. You know, I'd be shocked if I don't see this at the grand open at all.
Yeah,
like shocked. So
I agree.
Well, I mean, I'm bringing it. So
yeah, I'm bringing yellow, y'all. I'm telling you right now. I'm doing it.
If I can make it, I don't know what I'm bringing, but maybe Gale. I don't know, but we'll see. Yeah. It's like
I'm bringing my God Slaying and I'm bringing my Royal Potions, man. I'm gonna fight back against the Gale.
Maybe I bring my Serpents. I don't know. I'm too much of a purple player. Even if I would love to play another color, I look at purple and I'm like, I can't betray my color. Else I have to go back to purple.
Purple's good. Serpents are good. That Third Eye Snake, I love him.
Yeah, I'm liking it.
All right. Well, we got 2 cards left, and then we're gonna wrap this one up at a relatively decent time. We're into blue now from the promo pack. This is Galadbolg, a 4-cost 1 reduction blue golem spirit. At level 1 for 1 core, it has 2,000 BP. Level 2 for 3 cores, it has 4K. Level 3 for 5 cores, it has 6K. At level 2 and 3, when this spirit attacks, you may exhaust one of your nexuses to place a core from the void onto the nexus you exhausted. So good ramp, good exhaust your own nexus to combo off of some other really fun blue cards to do some really busted shit. And at level 3, while this spirit attacks, when you destroy one of your opponent's spirits via comparing BP, select one of your nexuses and refresh it. So they work well in multiples. You just get to keep refreshing and ramping onto the same spirit and going down the line with your Galadbolgs. Or again, just your other blue spirits that mess around with the nexuses. It's pretty solid. Golems are a very solid archetype right now.
Yep. I like it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. And, unfortunately, Third Eye Snake doesn't work against this guy because you get it into the nexus, not a spirit. So it's a smart way to ramp still without being punished for it. And, with blue doing so many things with nexus exhaustion with other spirits that, thrive off that, it's a really good card. And he's cheap to play, man. And he's very cool looking, too. I really like him. I like the details of the blue around his arms and stuff. So very cool.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I've the color of the card, like it's like source also affects the art and like works well with it. But that's something that this game does really well. I started noticing stuff like that with Keyforge, because all the different houses have different color and art. But in Keyforge you can get what's called a Maverick, and so that card can appear in any other house at a very rare percentage. And so just the way the color theory works in those cards, and you see them against different backgrounds, and they just pop. It's really, really neat. But all that to say, the blue accents through a lot of these blue cards mixed with these blue borders and the blue little gem icons, they just pop. They look good.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm constantly impressed with this game.
I really like golems as like an archetype as well. So I'm cool. Anytime there's new golem, like more golems, I'm into it. Like I think they're cool.
Yeah.
Just from a usability standpoint, I don't know that quite yet there's enough Nexus exhaustion for me to want to put 5 cores on this to do that, to refresh my Nexus. I think there's plenty of good reasons to exhaust Nexuses so far, and some benefits from that. But I haven't personally, from my own playtesting of Blue, been in a situation where I'm like, oh, I wish I could refresh this Nexus. I could see that happening. I just don't know that we're there yet. So I think this is another one that we'll come back and revisit him at some point, and he'll look very good at some point.
Yeah.
But the ramp, even without that, is good.
The ramp is great, and he goes hand in hand with Rammer Golem,
and Coliseum Golem,
and Coliseum Golem. Yes,
it goes off when you exhaust the Nexus. Coliseum Golem allows you to put another core from the void into it, so you can do double ramp with that. So I think that's why you want to exhaust your Nexus. It's just to like, it's that like build it up, build your board, and then by me exhausting this one Nexus, I get these 5 effects going off right now, so
yeah, I'd like to try to build a tribal golem deck and see how well it's viable, because Coliseum Golem is exciting as a 10 cost X rare.
Yes,
and I was curious. I looked it up because Rammer Golem and this guy Galad Bolg looked very similar in their art design, and it is the same artist doing these golems, so that's really, really fun. So I've been looking at that. They also did Bronze Golem. So you can kind of see that very distinct art style, and I'm really loving that through line with some of these golems that the same artist is doing. Like, very cool golem design.
Yeah,
big fan.
It's neat.
All right, last one.
We were just talking about this with the War Gods.
We were.
Here we go.
That's so funny.
Come on, Bob.
Explosive Giant Douglas. 6 cost, 3 reduction, blue War God Spirit. At level 1 for 1 core, he has 5,000 BP. Level 2 for 4 cores, 8,000. Level 3 for 6 cores, 10,000. So pretty decent statting there. At level 1, 2, and 3, when this spirit attacks, crush +1. So that means you're crushing your level +1. So he can mill up to 4 cards at full level. And then during your attack step at level 2 and 3, when a magic card is discarded by your crush effect, draw a card, then discard a card. So some tutoring here.
Yep.
And that's on. So when a magic card is discarded by your crush effect from all your different creatures, you get to cycle through the deck. 3? Yeah.
Yeah.
I like him.
And I think I could be wrong on this, but I want to say, let me look. He might be the cheapest one you can play with Crush 1. No, you got Warhammer Gordon. Never mind.
Yeah.
Chef Gordon comes in.
Chef Gordon.
I mean, yeah, it's I'm loving, once I think I said it in one of the podcasts before, like the Crush thing. I love it. I like it. I need to do more play testing with it, really, because sometimes I do feel it's a little bit slow sometimes. But definitely, it's a good solid card. That's another amazing War Guard to have, and keeping with the War God theme, right? Apart from the name, all the War Gods just look so like, I don't know, man. I like it. I have nothing else to say. I like it. I
need some more lore for the War Gods. This one says, it seems a centrally governed unified nation has existed within what is now the realm of water since long before the start of the Six Aegis era, also known as the Warring Nations era. So,
lore.
Yeah, he's just destroying buildings from the sea folk, it looks like, that have been there for a long time. And they don't care. They don't care.
They're gods.
Yeah, they just came down.
And if he destroys them and he gets magic, if he hits magic with it, he sucks it up through this weird tube in his arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're crazy.
The thing about this game, man, and we were literally just talking about it, like, even like the colors, like the green, the red, how much it pops out.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that drew me into like Magic a lot too, which is the art, right? Like,
very
it's cool playing a card that looks so good. And this game is, it's up there, man, with the amount of details and just the level of like color things, the rocks crumbling, the bright green looking like Bane or something like that. So I like it.
Yeah, and that's why
the art on this is striking.
Yeah, it is. I like that. That's why I spent $10 on an SPR of Royal Potion. Like, I want that card in my deck. I want to see it on the table. Because the art's just so good, so good. But yeah, that's our last card. If you guys have anything else to say about this one, or
no, I mean I think it's good doing what Blue wants to do. So it's good.
Yeah,
good old Dougie.
That's right. Teach me how to Dougie. Eric, this is a quick aside, but do you remember when?
Yes.
Yeah, I was calling our friend group because I was convinced that the Doug theme song was different than the one that I kept hearing when I would Google it, and it's because it was aired on 2 different broadcasting companies, and each one had a different theme song. And one was a shorter run than the other. And so I was like, what is this Mandela effect bullshit that I don't know? What?
You also drove our friend group into insanity.
No one could find it.
With
yeah.
This. Yeah.
but it was like memorable a little bit where like, oh yeah, like I do think I know that there was a different Doug theme song. That was very, very.
I didn't even realize that. I'm gonna have to look into that later. Now I'm gonna go look Easter egg hunt.
It was it was a big saga in our friend group there for a minute.
Just to try and help you, I watched like an hour-long video on YouTube that was like 90s cartoon intros, like trying to find the song that you were talking about.
I was scrubbing through the same thing. It's so funny.
Before we go, I do think we should mention, maybe we should have mentioned this at the top of the show, or maybe we'll talk about it as an entirely different episode later. But if you like Evangelion is coming to Battle Spirit Saga. I don't think we've actually talked about it yet.
No, we have not.
So I like Evangelion. Yep. Have you guys watched Evangelion?
I've never seen it. The only thing I know about Evangelion is that in Apex Legends, they did like an anime kind of collaboration, like skin release. And I have a skin for Revenant that is basically Evangelion. That's it. That's all I know. Cool.
It's a fantastic show.
It really is. Like, and you know, I'm excited because I've seen a lot of the Japanese Battle Spirit cards. I think I already had a collab with one of the purple guys. I think it is, or maybe it's just like a mock-up. But when I saw that the collab set for next set's gonna have that, and I think later on they're coming out with another full set for it, if I read correctly. But I'm excited. I mean, anything collab, I'm excited for. I'm here for it. I just think it adds that little extra flavor of like specialness to the card. So more chase cards to find out. So I'm excited for it, man. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, I think it's a cool idea. It gets more people in to the game that are outside of it. Like the entire reason I even got Eric in was I go, hey, next set there's gonna be some Gundam cards, I guess.
Yeah. And, I'm glad that I like the game more than just that, though, because I think I would have been a little disappointed.
Yeah, no kidding.
But I still love the Gundam cards for what they are. Absolutely. But mostly just because I fell in love with Battle Spirits as a game in general.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's good. I mean, if you guys haven't seen it, the Neon one's on Netflix. I think Neon Evangelion is on Netflix. So
yeah, I'll have to check it out.
It's a short watch. It's not like One Piece.
Oh, great. Good.
There's I think there's 24 episodes or something like that.
Yeah. I think
so
right.
doable.
And it's like a little bit of filler in the middle, but honestly, if I remember correctly, it was mostly just all story. I mean, there's like, it's a giant robot anime, so there's, you know, going to be like episodes that are all just like giant robot fights, but that's also pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, that is.
So, but it's great. I also some of the spoiler art stuff they've posted so far has been, it looks like maybe original art, or at least was made for the Japanese version of the game and is being repurposed, but it doesn't look like, it's not like still images from the anime. It's
I love when they commission new art for stuff.
I also saw, I'm speaking out of my ass, but so go find this information elsewhere. I think Cosmic probably covered it, but in the Japanese version of the game, they just announced some type of weird like dual collab where they had an image of one of the angels from Evangelion fighting Godzilla.
Yeah, it's what it looks like. Yeah.
I was like, what?
I'm waiting for a Godzilla collab set. Magic did it, you know, like we're going to get some Mothras and some other kaiju, and I think that's going to be really, really fun. I'll be super into that.
Yeah. Godzilla would be a cool one. I can already picture where they would put a lot of those characters into the game. So
yeah, Godzilla's a star dragon for sure, or an ancient dragon.
Yeah. We got Mecha Godzilla going to be a mecha, like in the white. So
yep,
that's cool.
Mothra
green. Yeah, yep. Maybe Gale.
Maybe Gale. Yeah. Why not? Oh boy.
But anyways, yeah, I didn't really have like a whole section of that prepared, but I just felt like it was worth mentioning. If you like Neon Genesis Evangelion, it's coming to Battle Spirits. It's exciting. I'm excited for it. It's not like my favorite show ever, but I do really like that show. So I'm excited to get some of those cards. And the idea of a full collab set, whatever that looks like, I think is very interesting to me as well.
Yep. Yeah,
where exciting. You could have like a totally, like you could build a deck, and because that's what I wanted for Gundam, and I hope we still get it later.
Yeah,
I would like to build a deck that is very thematically based on whatever the collab is.
Or Ant-Man should be a Gundam.
I agree.
In my opinion, yes, every single card should be a Gundam. But
yeah, I think I'm sure they could come back around and do a Gundam set, because I mean they did that in Japanese, right? There's a full Gundam set.
There's so many Gundams, like different type of series, series that I think it's another one. So
yeah. And then, if these do well, that opens the possibility for a bunch of other stuff. I know that they've mentioned that like this is their IP and they want to flesh it out more. So we're not going to see a ton of full collab sets unless they just totally take off. But it is cool to kind of mix and match the universes here a little bit. And I'm just a sucker for this IP that they're building. I really, really like it.
Yeah.
Especially when we get stuff like this lore book to learn even more about it all.
Because next year might be another lore set. Lore set 2. What is that going to be about? Maybe how the realms got started. Who knows? We'll figure it out.
X-Rare Pentan's going to happen at some point, and I'm going to be the first in line for it, baby.
Yeah, the collab sets are a fantastic way to get people in, but the lore in this game is deep and it's very cool. So yeah, definitely, I don't want to lose sight of that myself. And because I would be pretty disappointed if we went full on collab or something. Like, I like the Battle Spirits lore. I think it's cool.
I do too.
So yeah, it's neat.
Well, that is all. What is it? 6 times 2. Was that 12 cards? Did we go over 12 cards?
Yeah.
Okay. All 12 cards from the tournament pack. That was a struggle for me to do that basic math.
I thought you were joking. I was like, 6, 7, and I'm like, 12? I was like, are you really thinking about this?
I was like,
you can get some sleep, sir. What's going on?
Man, I've been working out the past week, humble brag. So I've been getting up and going to the gym really early. And I've been taking naps every day. I'm so tired. But that was really fun. And we've gone through really deep into set 3 and beyond. And I'm just very, very excited to open some new cards in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
I'll definitely be doing an unboxing stream to throw up on the channel. I'm sure Eric will as well. And looking forward to getting some new cards and seeing what I might be taking to Atlanta. But luckily,
I was just laughing because in my head I just heard you say, I'm going to throw up on the channel.
I'm going to throw up on the channel. But yeah, Battle Spirits, it's so good. So thank you all, if you made it to the end of this one, for supporting us and listening to us for 20 full episodes. Pretty excited about that. That's a pretty big milestone for podcasts.
Yeah. It doesn't even seem like it when Eric brought it up today. I was like, man, it's been 20 episodes already. Like, dang.
Yeah, it's so much fun. It just, I have so much fun doing this with you guys. So thank you, Eric and Angel, as always, for joining me here today, and thank you all for listening. If you want to, and I think you should, join our Discord. Follow the link in the show notes or in the description of this video, depending on where you're listening or watching this podcast. Go ahead and send us an email at absolutebsspod@gmail.com, or just interact with us in the comment sections. I usually put up polls on the Spotify, so if you're listening on Spotify, go check those out. Those are pretty fun. I always have a good chuckle with some of the Q&As on there. And yeah, get in the Discord. Let's talk. We're talking all week about this, and then we still have stuff to talk about when we get together on the podcast.
Yep.
But it's a very, very good time, especially when Eric and Angel are going to the Netherlands. We're all going to be in there rooting for our BSS boys. So until next time, I've been Cameron. That's Eric and Angel, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Absolute BSS. Goodbye.
Bye.
Peace.